Welcome everyone to Flow Tao Salon. Today, we're going to unwrap the surprisingly fierce battle for your attention in the chewing gum aisle. And guess what? The real fight is happening right on your social media feeds. So let's start with a really simple question, but one that has a surprisingly complex answer. When you're at the checkout, what makes you grab one pack of gum over another? Is it the flavor, the price, or is there something else going on, something driven by what you've been scrolling through on your phone all day? Well, to find out, we're diving deep into a really fascinating report. This is the 2025 China Chewing Gum Industry's Social Media Trend Analysis, which was published in early 2026 by the research agency Social Agent. They analyzed a whole year of data to figure out what really makes this market tick. Let's get into it. All right, first up, the big picture. We've got to get the lay of the land to see where these brands are actually fighting for your eyeballs. Okay, so this first chart shows us the sheer volume of conversation, just how many posts are out there, and you can see this huge spike in the spring and summer. The platform leading the charge here is Weibo, which is all about getting the message out to as many people as possible. It's a broadcast strategy. But this is where things get really interesting. When we stop looking at just volume and start looking at actual engagement, likes, shares, comments, the story completely flips. Look at that soaring yellow line. That's Douyin, China's version of TikTok. It just blows every other platform out of the water, hitting this incredible peak in September. So the crucial takeaway here is that we're seeing a clear split. Brands are using Weibo like a giant megaphone to broadcast information, but they're using Douyin as their engagement engine. It's where they go to get people fired up, talking, and actually interacting with the brand. Two different platforms, two totally different jobs. Okay, part two, the winner's playbook. Now that we know the battlefield, let's see how the top players are actually winning this game. And it really comes down to three very different strategies. The data does not lie. This chart shows a clear two-horse race at the top. You've got Doublemint and Stride, just slugging it out in a league of their own with over 12 million interactions each. And then, way down there, is Extra, a very distant third. So let's break down how the two giants pulled it off. Doublemint's secret weapon was pure genius. They created products that were impossible not to talk about. They weren't just selling gum, they were creating conversations. And this is the perfect example. They came out with new packaging that was designed to look exactly like a pack of cigarettes. It went viral almost instantly. Think about it. People weren't just buying gum anymore. They were buying a conversation starter, a clever little prop to help them quit smoking. It was just brilliant marketing. Now, Stride took a totally different path. Instead of going for a broad viral hit, they went for laser-focused precision, embedding their brand deep inside the world of young gamers. They did a collaboration with the King of Glory Professional League, which is one of the biggest gaming IPs on the planet. For the massive community of Gen Z gamers, this wasn't just gum, it was official merch. And as this user says, the packaging was so cool they couldn't even throw it away. Now that's how you build some serious brand loyalty. So what about Extra, our third place brand? Well, their playbook was basically to cast the widest net possible. They were all about variety, hoping they'd have something that appealed to everyone. And you can really see that diverse approach right here. They partnered with a hit TV show to get the office workers, a massive anime to get the youth culture fans, and then they threw a total curveball with wild flavors like coriander. Yep, you heard that right, just to get people talking. A real multi-pronged attack. All right, section 3, the consumer's mind. This all brings us to the biggest question of all. What do we, the consumers, actually want? And it turns out, it's about way more than just fresh breath these days. Just take a look at this word cloud. It shows us the topics that got the most buzz online. And notice what the biggest words are. They aren't flavors like mint or fruit. They're the brands themselves, Stride and Doublemint. And right up there with them is a key health benefit, sugar-free. That tells you right away that brand identity and health are now front and center. This slide really breaks down how we make decisions now. At the bottom, fresh breath is just the basic price of entry, but then we start layering on other things. We weigh the health benefits, then the emotional value, like stress relief, and right at the very top, it's all about brand culture. So after digging through all of this data, what's the bottom line? Let's distill everything down to the three most important takeaways from this entire report. Here they are, the three core findings that really define the market today.
First, social media platforms have split roles. You can't just post the same thing everywhere. You need a reach strategy for Weibo and a totally different engagement strategy for Douyin. Second, marketing has completely evolved. It's not about listing features anymore, it's about creating talkable products, tapping into culture, and making a real emotional connection. And finally, you, the consumer, have evolved. You expect things like sugar-free as a standard, and your final choice is now swayed by your emotional needs and whether you see yourself in that brand's identity.
Flo Tao Salon wishing you a prosperous year of the horse.